Well, I'm up, just up, getting ready to go to bed, so I probably won't even be on here for nothing but 15 minutes. But since I was up, my mind keeps thinking about the shit from earlier today. Oh, hey, we got a couple people up with me. It's a few of you motherfuckers up. Well, hey, motherfuckers, hit the like button as you come in. I'm just up, child. I don't know what y'all doing up, but I am up. And as I was up, I was thinking about because I had watched the live back from earlier, and we were talking about the fish and the hibernation and all of this shit. And I said, fish don't sleep, whales don't sleep. And then I saw some people say they do sleep, they just sleep with their eyes open. So I said, well, let me Google and actually look and see what they say. So I did. And I'm just gonna put it up because this is the shit that I seen, that I found. So it says, what do fish think about all day? It says scientists have just observed a thought swimming through the brain of a live fish, and that thought concerned getting something good to eat. Fish and other wild animals appear to think a lot about food, how to obtain it, and what to consume. Let me tell you why this is interesting to me. Because how the fuck would they know that? They said they tested the brain and they observed a thought swimming through the brain of a live fish. How did they do that? How did they observe that? How do they know that? How are they seeing that thought? What kind of technology are they using that would have told them that was the thought that that fish was thinking? How many fish did they actually study? Did they just study one fish, two fish, the red fish, or the blue fish? I just want to know how many fish did they study to understand that they didn't just say fish, they said fish and other wild animals appear. Appear. See, that's a different word. Let me Google that word. And I won't keep y'all on here long. I just needed to get some thoughts out of my mind. The definition, okay, of appear. Come into sight, become visible or noticeable, typical without visible agent or apparent cause. Two, seem, give the impression of being. So they don't even really know because in this form, when they say fish and other wild animals appear to think a lot about food, but they say appear scientists have just observed a thought. Okay, observed is different than appear. Appear is seem, give the impression of being. Meanwhile, observe. Observe means to notice or perceive something and register it as being significant. Make a remark. So to notice or perceive something. See, that's a different word too. So now we got to get to the fucking bottom of it. And welcome and gratitude to anybody that's on here. Please hit the like button, please. So let's look up perceive. Perceive. Let's see here. become aware of, conscious of, come to realize or understand. But there's still nothing scientific about this word. Scientists have just observed a thought. Can you actually really observe a thought? And again, let's go back to what it was, to observe, to notice or perceive and register it as being significant. So, how can a scientist actually observe a thought through the brain of a live fish? And that thought concerned getting something good to eat, something good. Animals don't necessarily, I don't believe, have the conscious thought of food being good. That means that they would have a notion of flavor and taste. They either have the animalistic understanding of eating or not eating. I'm just saying what my thoughts was. And then it says fish and other wild animals appear to think a lot about food and how to obtain it and what to consume. So that would be to say that fish and other wild animals are thinking like, I sure am fucking hungry. What can be good? I wonder if that motherfucking hyena over there tastes good. It doesn't think about taste. It thinks about going to perhaps appear to to fucking consume it. I don't I don't trust these people. I don't trust them. Why would they state this as if this was fact? And they tried to make it sound good by putting scientists as the first beginning word. They put scientists first, but that's not the only thing I saw. Let's go to my next slide, shall we? How do fish see humans? Fishes can visualize colors similar to humans. Fish have eyes that have a protective layer on their eyes. Due to the protective layer, they can visualize colors much more clearer. They have more spherical lenses. Hey, how would they know that? So they're appearing and observing thoughts, and they can visualize colors similar to humans, but how would they actually know that? So they're in the brain of the fish, seeing through the eyes of the fish. So they're seeing through the eyes of the fish. So they are seeing. Okay, this is just okay. So, fish have eyes that have a protective layer on their eyes. Due to the protective layer, they can visualize color more. How do they know that? So, because they said, this is what they just said, due to the protective layer. So, were they looking through fish eyes before the protective layer and it wasn't as clear that they would know and have that to even specify and say, due to the protective layer, they can visualize colors more clearer? How would they know that? How would they know that? They talked to Dory, probably. I'm just trying to understand because they're saying this as if it's fact. Why would they be specifying this shit as if it was fact? Visualize colors similar to humans? So they had to go into, what's up, Chaz? They had to go into the brain of the fish to even know about, okay, because if you just missed our last slide that we was just looking at, see, this was the last slide right here. See, that means they said that they observed the thoughts swimming through the brain of the fish. So they had to observe inside the brain the waves of the fish, the brain waves of the fish, and they would have to transmute that into real visualizations for them to even know what the thought was. They would have to be able to communicate inside of the brain of the fish for them to get that knowledge, to even go into to visualize, to see the colors similar, and they would have had to have seen through the eyes of the fish without the protective layer and with the protective layer for them to have this sort of knowledge, for them to quote it, to be specific and put this in this to say it is so. And these are the people that we are trusting. Anyway, let's go to the next slide, shall we? Do fish have feelings? Okay, this is interesting. Do fish have feelings? Yes, fish experience both physical and emotional pain. Oh, God. Here they go again. Scientists say that it's likely a different type than what humans experience, but it's pain nonetheless. Now, funny enough, they said that babies don't feel pain. They even at one point in history said that melanites don't experience pain, and that we were, what, three-fourths human, I think it was. But they can specifically tell you the visualization, the thoughts of the fish, what the fish sees clearly, because they use the word clearly, and then they can tell you that fish experience both physical and emotional pain. How would they know that? But they're the ones that are master fishermen, so they don't really mind causing pain to anything, anyone. And so emotional pain, that would mean that fish have emotions and that they have the sensibility of understanding feelings, the capability of being emotional. So they are very fucking sad, bro, that we are eating the fuck out of them, is what you're saying. And if this is the case, this very question got me pondering, which is why I came on the live, because I wanted to ask anyone that's possibly up. So if fish have feelings, then that would beg to differ. And that would bring me to this point that a cow has feelings, that a chicken has feelings, that a lamb has feelings, that deer have feelings, that pigs have feelings, but yet we send them and take them to the slaughter and consume them. So, my question is, what kind of villains are we that we would understand that another living creature or being has actual emotional and physical feelings that we would discard and disregard to consume them, even though by nature we know we should not consume them, and we are now living inside of a savage environment that would disregard actual feeling? Because if you can disregard the feelings of these beings and say I must consume you even though I should not consume you, why wouldn't you consume a dog? Why are you not consuming horses? Why are you not consuming cats? What's the difference? What's the difference? You're consuming every the fuck thing else. What's the difference? Fish have experienced both physical and emotional pain. So why are you consuming these other animals and we know that they have feelings? I guess I should say animals and mammals, because at this point we're eating all kind of swordfish and whales and all kind of cow tongues. So why are we eating these things when we know that they say they not only have feelings physically and emotionally, they can halfway have color visuals, and they also think and have thought. So if they have thought, but they seemingly appear to, by observation, think about what they can eat, would they also have the reverence of a spiritual or higher being? Do they know God? Do the animals know God or spirit or some sort of reverence to a physical faith or source being? Hmm. Shit that makes you go, hmm. Next slide, please. Do fish swim while sleeping? Unihemispheric sleep allows a fish to put one half of their brain to sleep at a time. The other half stays active, allowing the fish to keep swimming, albeit more slowly than when they are awake. So then that would kind of make fish much more intelligent than the human being, because why can't we put half? We only use 10% of our big brain, because see, it seems like the fish is using all of their caliber of their brain. Let me see what Amara says. She says they pray and pray over the food, so we eat trauma. They don't bless the food before we consume. I know the difference when I'm not eating meat and fasting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we're only using 10% of our brain. Meanwhile, the fish can separate its brain and the activation of it and put it to sleep while still being active, albeit slower than before, but nonetheless, they are still able to sleep and be active at the same time. Now, some of us be sleepy as fuck and we be sleepwalking and talking, and it doesn't make sense. And because I do it. And motherfucker, if I'm real sleepy, they be like, "What, Quatita?" I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I just said. Shit is just coming out of my mouth at this point. So, but they can still be active. Unihemispheric sleep allows fish to put one half of the brain to sleep at a time. How would they know that? How do they know that's what's happening? So they have a little helmet. They have a little helmet on the fish, because in order for them to test your brain, they put all these little helmets and different wires up on your brain. So I can only assume that if they're testing the brains of a fish, that they would have to put a little helmety thing on the fish as well. So the fish has a little helmety thing on it, on their brain, wherever their brain shall lie upon this body of the fish. And they are monitoring that half of the brain becomes inactive while the other half of the brain is active, and they have to be able to communicate with the fish in some capacity, that they would know that this is not an involuntary act but a voluntary act, to know that the fish is voluntarily putting that part of the brain to sleep. So they're communicating to know that. Okay, okay. Because they have to be able to know these things. Otherwise, they should be able to test us without the little helmety things and the wires too, like they would test the fish. Because they're not putting the fish through the little, through the little scanner. They're not putting them inside the dye and sending them through the little scanner machine so they can see the CAT scan of the fish brain. So that means if they would have to understand and communicate with the fish for them to know that the fish is voluntarily putting that part of the brain to sleep, because it says that sleep allows unihemispheric sleep allows a fish to put allows a fish to put one half of their brain to sleep at a time. So they would have to know that. Okay. Anyway, next slide, please. Just some shit I was thinking about. It says, while fish do not sleep in the same way that land mammals sleep, most fish do rest. Research shows that fish may reduce their activity and metabolism while remaining alert to danger. Some fish float in place, some wedge themselves into a secure spot in the mud or coral, and some even locate, it says, a tiny spot or whatever. So now it says, while fish do not sleep in the same way as the land mammals, because again, they've already told you that I guess the fish voluntarily puts one half of their brain to sleep during unihemispheric sleeping time, which I guess would have to be always consistently throughout the day of the fish, because fish don't sleep just at nighttime like we do. It said fish rest throughout the day, period, because they don't have any understanding of like time and day, even though they're super intelligent. And I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just stating the facts. Okay. So it says research shows that fish may reduce their activity and metabolism while remaining alert to danger. So I guess that's again one half of the brain being asleep and alert. Okay. Some fish float in place. I've seen fish float in place. That must be the time in which they are sleeping. Now, it says while fish do not sleep in the same way as that of a land mammal sleep, most fish do rest. Now that is great, except for but what this slide says. How do you know if a fish is sleeping? It's pretty easy to tell when fish are sleeping. They lie motionless, often at the bottom or near the surface of the water. They are slow to respond to things going on around them, or may not respond at all. See some sleeping catfish here. If you watch their gills, you'll notice that they're breathing very slowly. Now, the problem is they've just told you in three different slides. This one says that fish do sleep and they lie motionless. But the other one also says, this also says, I guess we can't see it because it also says the fish does not have eyelids. It may have been on another one that I read, but it says fish do not have eyelids, and they lie motionless at the bottom or near the surface of the water. However, the other one says that they still move. It's just, a little slower. Meanwhile, the other slide says that only half of the brain is sleeping, so they're still active and alert. Yes, that would be observable. Because again, I've seen fish just motionless in one spot. So again, I guess that's the time when they are sleeping. Absolutely. It is very contradictory. Very contradictory. Now, I did not upload anything about the hibernation, but I'm going to look it up since we're on here and alert. Um, because I would like to look at that as well. But you have to ask yourself, if we go back to the very beginning of the slides, and gratitude for everybody that's joining us, scientists have just observed a thought swimming through the brain of a live fish. Now, they were very specific to tell you that the fish was live, meaning they are not observing the brain of a dead fish. This is a live fish. So, again, I guess they have the little helmety thing on the fish so they can observe the thoughts. Wouldn't you say so, Miss Latia or Sasha? Maybe we can go straight to the deities. I understand. I'm not discrediting that they have emotion. What I'm saying is the fact that they are saying that they know that they have physical and emotional pain. Yet they will tell you that and make you believe that they don't feel anything. So you should not feel sorry for them when you consume them. So that is to say that a cow is not terrified, scared, sad, or even feels the notion that they're going off to the slaughter. Wouldn't they be scared too? Because, and again, why are you not eating dogs? We judge Chinese people for eating dogs. I've even seen very real pictures of Asians, Orientals eating fetuses, human fetus babies. But we're judging them for what they are consuming, but we're still propagating inside of all of the foolishness by consuming these things as well. How can you pick and choose and say, well, shit, it's a cow? I mean, cows are edible. It's not like I'm eating a whole horse. This also have hooves and on four legs and is an animal. I mean, that would be atrocious. Why are you not eating the bear? Let's look up the bear's hibernation. But as I go to do that, let me please run Miss Chazville's ad real quick, please, because I need to. I'm trying to make sure I stay into the habit of running these ads like I should when I'm on. Hold on, please.
They say do everything with attention. From my hands to yours. May you receive all the energy and everything you need it to be. Ashe.
All right, we are back. I'm going to move this really quickly. Make sure y'all tapping into Chaz. So, okay, gotta take this off. So now, um, let's look at some hibernation because I saw that some other people said that bats and squirrels also hibernate. Now, give me a moment to Okay. And I'm gonna just give me a second because I also want to pull up this difference between. Okay. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm coming, and I'm just happy to have y'all up with me. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. And we're just gonna take a look at a couple things. Let me go ahead and start to upload these things on here. Okay, we're gonna look at some more slides, people. Yes, we are. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna upload it into a tester. Uh, Hold on. Let me get in here. Let me get in there. Right there. Right there. Okay. I'm going in. So let me just upload. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna check what you guys are saying. Hold on. All right, we're in business. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, okay, maybe that's what it is. Okay, I just had to make sure on something. Let me get it back up there. I think this is one. Nope. Shit, y'all. Hold on. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me see what y'all talking about. Okay. So let's see. Hey, Obs. Say getting my tea blend ready for sleeping. Okay. You hit a great point. Okay. All right. So let's look at a new slide. Let's see real quick. I got him up there. All right. All right. So basically, I asked the question, what is the difference between an animal and a mammal? And it says organisms which are heterotrophic can move from one place, heterotrophic can move from other, one place to other, do not contain cell wall and have definite growth. This is referred as animals. Organisms which are warm blooded, um, organisms which are warm blooded animals have mammary glands and body is covered with hair. This is referred as mammals. None of it really made sense to me. Greetings, Lisa. None of it. Greetings, Victoria. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me, maybe because I don't understand what heterotrophic is. So let me just go ahead and Google that word so we're all in the know for us that are up, and I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I'm gonna get off of here, but I wanted to just give some stuff. So heterotroph is an organism that eats other plants or animals for energy and nutrients. The term stems from the Greek word hetero for other and trophic for nourishment. Hmm. So other nourishment. Organisms are characterized in two broad categories based upon how they obtain their energy and nutrients: autotrophic and heterotrophic. Look up memory. Okay, we'll do definition of memory. Memory denoting or relating to the human female breasts or the milk secreting organ of other mammals. Wait, what? Denoting or relating to the human female breasts or the milk secreting organs of other mammals. Huh. That would say that, okay, okay. Well, females are the only, wow, are the only beings that I know. Okay, there you go. There you go, pumpkin. There you go. There you go. Okay. So, because females are the only beings that I know that secrete milk. Huh. Guess that proves a point that I was trying to make before. So, anything that can give birth, perhaps, Aubrey, I'm not sure. So, again, it says the difference between an animal and a mammal: organisms which are heterotrophic, which is other nourishments, can move from one place to other, do not contain cell wall, and have definite growth. This is referred as animals. None of that don't make sense to me. I'm sorry, I don't know why my mind is not comprehending what that means. All of that can move from one place to another, because as a mammal, mammals do too. Do not contain cell wall. I don't understand. Let's look at what the fuck a cell wall is then. Maybe that's what is pondering me. Okay. A cell wall, a rigid layer of polysaccharides lying outside the plasma membrane of the cells of plants, fungi, and bacteria. In the algae and higher plants, it consists mainly of cellulose. None of that still doesn't make sense. I still don't understand, because that would be to say that an animal. Okay, it says that it doesn't have it. Okay, so animal does not have the rigid layer of. Let's look what the fuck polysaccharides. Um, poly. Let me see if I can pronounce polysaccharide is a carbohydrate whose molecules consist of a number of sugar molecules bonded together. Okay, so potentially an animal does not have that, and it has other nutrients. So I guess meaning it can get nutrients outside of the mother's physical being, like the mammary glands. So an animal can get nutrients from somewhere else, although it does not have the cell walls. that would be lying outside of the plasma membrane of the cell of the plants, like fungi and bacteria. In the algae and higher plants, it consists mainly of cellulose. Okay, so an animal does not have that. I don't know why it says and have definite growth. Don't know what that would mean. This is referred as animals. So, an organism which are warm blooded, because um, organisms which are warm blooded animals have mammary glands and body is covered with hair. This is referred to as mammals. But why, if we're referred to as mammals, why are they calling us an animal? Organism which are warm blooded animals. That don't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. Because if because animals are supposed to be non-warm blooded, which I guess is cold blooded, right? And so mammals are supposed to be warm blooded. So if an organism which are warm blooded animals have mammary glands, so if a warm blooded animal don't have mammary glands, it's called an animal, not a mammal. It don't make sense. That doesn't make sense, but you're reading it for yourself. So you can always come back and look at this again if you like. Let's go to the next slide. It says non mammalian vertebrates include fish, birds, amphibians, and reptiles. Soybeans are an important source of non mammalian protein. Fewer examples: the sea lamprey, the slime mold, and the roundworm were three of nine non mammalian organisms chosen for genetic sequencing. Now, I know we got some scholars on here right now, and so I got a question for y'all because the round worm is what is supposedly considered as a parasite. So soybeans are an important source of non mammalian protein, meaning we don't get protein from soybeans, but they put soybeans in a lot of our shit, especially our vegan foods and meats and milks. Non mammalian vertebrae include, meaning fish, birds, amphibians, and reptiles, are not mammals, they're animals. Okay, so all right, but how is that when humans, people, mankind are said to have reptilian parts of the brain? Yes, it's supposed to be dangerous for humans, but they tell us it's so strange that's why our skin um becomes scaly and all of this stuff is because we are supposedly, anyway. So let's go down. um the sea lamprey, the slime mold, and the roundworm were three of nine non-mammalian organisms chosen for genetic sequencing. But why for genetic sequencing? That sounds like some Henrietta Lacks type shit. That's what that sounds like. I can't make that make sense. But again, you're welcome to come back and look at this and get something. I'm gonna look up the definition real quick of sea lamprey. Lamprey. Okay. Let's see. And then I'm gonna look at these other slides and take my ass on and lay the fuck down. It's already child about to be light outside. If it ain't light. Sea lamprey. Yeah, that is considered a fucking parasite. Among the most primitive of all vertebrate species, the sea lamprey is a parasitic fish native to the northern and southwestern Atlantic Ocean. Due to their similar body shapes, lamprey are sometimes inaccurately called lamprey eels. But when you see the picture of this shit, this is. Which, let me see. I might can show you the picture real quick. Hold on. No judgment. Just hold on. Because these are parasites, bro. And everything will tell you that it's parasites. It is parasites. Parasites. Yeah, them are fucking parasites, bro. A roundworm is a parasite. I'm really the fuck confused. Okay, so let me see. Let me get it up here so y'all can seize it. Y'all understand that, y'all know that, right? And when I show y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, that's a parasite. If you've ever done any studying or looking at parasites, you would see and definitely know that it's fucking a parasite, bro. A roundworm is considered a parasite. And this is what it looks like. That's a fucking parasite, bro. No? Right? Parasite people? That's a parasite. It says it. Lamprey is parasitic. Um, the Love Boat. Okay, so that's what a sea lamprey is. And those are also what is said to be on like the fish that you eat, like the salmon and all of that shit. That's what that's supposed to be. So it is a roundworm where three, the sea lamprey, the slime mold. So all of this is parasites and the roundworm. They're parasites. Were three of nine non mammalian organisms chosen for genetic sequencing. What do they mean by that? Let's look up what the fuck a genetic sequencing means. Genetic sequencing, the process of ascertaining the sequence of nucleotides in a segment of DNA. The researchers performed a gene sequencing to detect 22 unknown proposed breast cancer susceptibility genes, which is again, which I said, Henrietta Lacks. That's quite interesting. Why would they be running gene sequencing on parasites? But again, we've spoken about parasites being a living organism that actually speaks to you and makes you crave things. Next slide. Do all animals hibernate? Not all mammals hibernate. In fact, most aren't even capable of undergoing the hibernation process in the first place. These mammals may enter temporary torpor or simply stay active all year. Opossums, coyotes, raccoons, and moles never become inactive. All right. Do bears actually hibernate? Bears hibernate during winter but aren't sleeping the whole time. Hibernation for bears simply means they do not need to eat or drink and rarely urinate or defecate or not at all. So we spoke about this a little earlier. Now, as you see, they say bears. There is a lot of bears in the bear family. You have the polar bear, the black bear, the brown bear. You have the koala bears. you have different beings, species, hybrids of bears. They're not very specific here. Could be meditation, but how long do they actually hibernate? And if they, because someone also said that they were feeding on the omega fats from the fish. So bears may have a lot of parasites as well, because as we just looked at, they come from a lot of that. And apparently something with soybeans. I don't know. Hibernation for bears simply means they don't need to eat or drink and rarely urinate or defecate. So why would that be? Because all living things need to consume water. If nothing else, all living beings from plants to everything else need, because even when we're looking at the amphibians, they need to be in water to survive. So bears can go, what, 3 to 6 months, depending, without water. So you can tell me that they have stored up fat, the omega fats, they have stored up fat in the body like a fucking camel. But you cannot make me believe that they don't need water. I'm trying to understand. It say, and won't their digestive system shut down? I kind of would think so, but I and I don't. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to me. Next slide, please. Um, while hibernation is most often seen as a seasonal behavior, it's not exclusive to cold weather critters. There are tropical hibernators that may do so to stay cool in the heat. Temperature isn't always a factor. Some species hibernate in response to food shortages. So let's break this down. Let's look at this, because this is what they just said. Now, they've stated this as if this is all fact, right? It says, while hibernation is most often seen as a seasonal behavior. Well, we didn't know it was seasonal. Well, I guess you could consider the winter time being seasonal. But okay, so let's bypass that one. Okay. It's not exclusive to cold weather critters. But that is what we were told. Even we discussed it earlier. They say is due to the cold weather and food shortages, right? So there are tropical hibernators that may do so to stay cool in the heat. But you've also been taught that, okay, see, this is where it gets confusing, because they have taught us time and time and time again about I can't think of the word, but you're going to give it to me, I'm sure. Transformation, like how you adapt to your environment. So so tropical hibernators, wouldn't they have been already adapted to their environment, which would be the heat, as a fucking bear, polar bear, would be adaptive to the coolness, the cold? So wouldn't bears that have are full of fucking fur, wouldn't they have already adapted to the cooler environment, because they have taught us that you adapt to your environment. I'm just trying to understand that. Okay. So now it also says temperature isn't always a factor. Some species hibernate in response to food shortages. Okay. Okay. So polar bears right now, if you look at and do the research on polar bears, there are almost extinct. They are a dying species because of the lack of food shortages. Because there's a lack of food, and so food shortages. So they're becoming more and more extinct. Wouldn't they just go and hibernate because of the food shortages instead of just adaptation, gratitude, instead of just dying the fuck off? That would beg to say that a lot of these mammals would just hibernate instead of dying the fuck off and going extinct. Now there is a very, very let me see where to go. Okay. This word is very critical inside of your thinking when you're reading something. This says there are tropical hibernators that may do so to stay cool in the heat. How do they actually know that? Because they don't. Because the word may is very specific, meaning they may or may not. We don't really fucking know, but we're going to state it as if it's a fact. And you're going to go over the word may because that's not even going to register that they telling you they really the fuck don't know. Because anybody that will tell you something may happen means they really the fuck don't know if it's going to happen. But they're going to state it as if it's fact. All right. Now, this slide, I did it this way, which I should have done it this way, but I'll read it to you exactly what it says because I'm sure you're having a hard time actually reading it too. So, let's see. Okay. It's actually two different things. Okay, so we don't even need to see this one because we just looked at it. Okay. And then we're back here. None of this shit makes sense to me. And I just thought that I would come in to give some shed some light on what my motherfucking thoughts was at this time of the rising, and just make us think a little bit more again as we go to sleep and wake up, or just go ahead and proceed with our day as you all may be doing right the fuck now. um it's a lie trap, yeah. Because my thought, what I'm trying to say is, if they thought that fish, because some of you may not have been on here from the very first slide, okay, and the very first slide says a lot of shit, okay, which was this: what do fish think about all day? Scientists have observed a thought swimming through the brain of a live fish, and the thought concerned getting some food. How would they know that? The next one was probably um, even more interesting because it says, how do fish see humans? Fishes can visualize colors similar to humans. Fish have eyes that have protective layer of their eyes. Due to the protective layer, they can visualize colors much more clearer. They have more spherical lenses. They have a more spherical lens. That would again beg to say that they have went into the brain of a fish, and they have observed the thoughts, the thought process, and had communication with the fish, that the fish would be able to give them this insight, and they would be able to see through the lenses of the fish to have that knowledge and understanding. Now, this may be the most disturbing one. Do fish have feelings? Yes, fish experience both physical and emotional pain. So says scientists, who say that it's a likely different type than what humans experience, but it's pain nonetheless. What would make that different? Because pain is pain nonetheless, so they have said. So what would make their emotional and their physical pain different than ours? Which again brought me to the fact of the thought. that if you understand that a fish, a mere little bitty fish, that they have now told you that they have observed the brain activities, brain waves, the thought process, can see through the visualization of that fish spherical eyes, that they know the fish have pain and emotional pain. So why are they killing all of the fucking animals and the fowls, understanding that they too bear pain? And then why are we eating the animals if we know that they are emotional and physical pain bearing beings, whether you want to call them an animal or a mammal? That means that they would have thought process. A fish can put one half of their brain to sleep while staying active, although they don't really sleep, but they must rest. So, if that is the case, that means that they have a lot of mind control, and they have telepathy and brain waves that goes through the water inside of communication with each other. Because if you ever watch fish in a group, I don't want to call it a herd, but let's call it a herd for the lack of me trying to think of the word that you would call that. A group of fish, fisheye, fishies, whatever you would call it, they swim in synchronicity as one whole body. It can be 1,000 fish, and all of the fish will go left, then right, up and then down, left, then right. No fish is going, all of the fish are going right. There's not a fish that's going left, like, oh, I'm out of sync, sir. Sorry. All of the fish are in, um, you say a school. Yeah, perfect. You're right. That's exactly it. Um, they're swimming in sync because they're all communicating. So that was to say, you guys, if fish who have a level of intelligence that we don't even understand have feelings and emotional feelings, physical feelings, then they must have mental capabilities. So if they have emotional feelings, that means that they have feelings of caring, of fear. If they say not like ours, then what feelings would they have? What would that mean emotionally? How would they know that they are emotional unless they've communicated? That means that all life forms have physical and emotional feelings, and we need to take that into accountability when we're eating them, because otherwise, why are you not eating a bear? Why are you not eating horses? Why are you not eating dogs and cows? I mean, dogs and cats, because you're eating the shit out of cows and pigs and lambs and fish, and on occasions deer, because that's what the fuck veal is. So why are you not eating these other animals? Go get you a whole cat. Why you ain't getting you no cat and eating the cat? Why you ain't eating no lion? Just thought I would put this out there. Gratitude for everybody showing up in the middle of the night morning, the morning night, just to come and listen and see what a bitch was talking about. Please know that I love you to life, and just want to get you to thinking and what my thought process was, because we did speak on this shit earlier. Understand that this is again a simulation that you are in control of, and if that is the truth, then that is the case, and you can look at and you can watch the words that are being used, such as observe, appear, and may, meaning what does it mean? They don't know shit. It's their thoughts and opinions, is what the fuck those words mean. They don't really fucking know. But that is also like they have taken the dogma and says that's what the dogma means. The dogma means observe, appear, and may. Meaning we don't really fucking know, but we're going to set this into place and you cannot question it because we have said that's what this is. We are melanites and nobody tells us what the fuck to do. Period. We are we are divine kinship. We are the soul body of the spirit family. We're divine kinship. We are reverence. We are gold. We are prophet. We are intelligence. We are the higher beings, the sky beings. We are the source of all knowledge, primitive and otherwise. We are the Alpha and the Omega. We are that we are. We are the source supremacy of all consciousness. And no one, absolutely no one, can take that away from you unless you give them the run and rule of your mind. And they are not running or ruling the minds of these mammals and animals, aka kakusas. And they have no dominion over us. So, with that being said, start your day, end your day, begin your day, whatever this is in your time and your space of your effort right now. Understand your power. I don't know why though I keep seeing Tank. I keep seeing the singer Tank over and over again. There's something going on with Tank. I don't know what that is. But understand your power is greater than any power that has been given or allotted upon this physical plane. You are the matrix. And without us being the power source and the energy factor, and let's not forget, we are the mental capacity, we are the frequency, we are the knowledge, we are the wisdom, we are the um central processing unit, we are the mainframe, we are the computer, we are the complete device, we are iPhones and genomes are androids. We are the original. We are the melanite being. And I show you gratitude for just coming on to see what I had to say. Get some rest. Close your eyes, get some sleep, get some wood, get some good, and make it do what it do. Have a great night, morning, rising, sleeping. Know that I bliss you. May bliss be the highest frequency that you can feel today, and may you all feel it from every angle in which you choose and manifest to experience. I love you to life. I bliss you to life. Gratitude.